Chosen one, you did not arrive here by chance. You were summoned by divine timing, drawn into this moment because heaven scheduled it before you ever pressed play. You are standing at the edge of a sacred shift, one that reaches beyond your lifetime and touches generations. What is unfolding now is not random, and it is not delayed. It is appointed. Chosen one, this is a kairos moment, an ordained season where what was prepared in silence begins to surface. Scripture speaks of an appointed time where the vision waits, yet never arrives late. And this is that hour. What you endured was not denial, it was alignment. What felt hidden was being preserved. The same God who orders seasons and establishes generations has allowed this moment to find you because you are ready to carry it. Anointed one, there is something ancient stirring in your bloodline, a truth connected to your grandfather, something carried quietly, faithfully, and without explanation, is now pressing toward revelation. What he held in mystery is seeking expression through you. This is not memory, this is inheritance. This is the moment where promise meets awakening and what was sealed begins to speak. Chosen one, God's reminders do not always arrive through answers or explanations. Sometimes what sustains faith is something quiet, simple, and steady. Something you can return to when clarity fades and strength feels thin. It is here, waiting in stillness. Chosen one, what if what your grandfather carried in silence was never meant to end with him, but was always meant to pass through you? This is not a sentimental thought, and it is not imagination. This is how heaven works. Power is rarely announced when it is first planted. It is often hidden, protected, and carried quietly until the generation arrives that can hold it without wasting it. Anointed one, I have learned this through my own walk. Heaven often hides its greatest assignments inside ordinary lives, not the ones that make noise, not the ones that chase attention, but the ones that change atmospheres simply by being present. Your grandfather was one of those people. His life may have looked simple on the surface, but in the spirit it was weighted. What he carried was not small, it was sacred. Chosen one, your grandfather did not need to explain himself for heaven to recognize him. His silence was not absence, it was containment. There were things placed on him that could not be spoken aloud because the time was not yet ripe. Scripture tells us that there is a time for every purpose under heaven, and some purposes are carried forward before they are revealed. Your generation is that appointed time. Anointed one, you may not remember his voice clearly, you may not even remember his face in detail. But what matters is not what you remember about him, it is what remembers you. There are prayers that recognize your name because they were spoken before you arrived. There are spiritual markers that respond to you because they once responded to him. His prayers became the soil beneath your feet. His obedience became your covering. Chosen one, this is not about nostalgia or family stories. This is about inheritance. Not money, not land, not objects. This is about spiritual access, authority, favor, alignment. These things move through bloodlines when they are guarded properly. Your grandfather guarded them through faithfulness, through restraint, and through a quiet obedience that few people noticed. Anointed one, you are feeling this now because the seed he carried has reached its moment of awakening. That stirring in your chest, that sense that something is aligning faster than your mind can track. That pull toward things you cannot fully explain. These are not random sensations. They are signs of activation. Heaven is confirming what your spirit already knows. Chosen one, I remember when this began happening in my own life. I could not explain why certain places made me emotional, why certain moments carried a weight that did not belong to the present. I thought it was memory. God showed me it was inheritance waking up. Something preserved long before me was recognizing that I was finally ready. That is what is happening to you now. Anointed One, this is why your life has never followed an ordinary timeline.
This is why delays shaped you instead of breaking you.
This is why unanswered prayers refined you instead of emptying you. Heaven was preparing you to carry what could not be rushed. What feels heavy right now is not pressure. It is authority settling into place. Chosen One. You are standing at the threshold of revelation. This is not about solving a mystery, it is about becoming the continuation of it. What your grandfather could only begin, you are being prepared to complete. What surrounded him quietly is now surrounding you openly. You can feel it in your breath, in your awareness, in the way your discernment has sharpened. Anointed One, do not rush this moment. Sacred ground requires stillness. Some of you will notice physical confirmations, warmth, tears, a calm clarity that arrives without explanation. These are not emotional reactions, they are signs of alignment. Heaven is marking you as the rightful heir of what was preserved through silence. Chosen One. What your grandfather carried was never lost. It was stored. It waited for your awareness and your willingness. Now that your spirit is awake, the transfer has begun. You are not late. You are not behind. You are precisely on time. The silence you once feared was the sound of heaven preparing the stage. Anointed One, the story did not end with him. It is unfolding through you. And what is awakening inside you now is not ordinary memory. It is divine recall. Heaven is not teaching you something new. It is reminding you of something ancient that was written into you before you ever took your first breath. This is the moment where inheritance begins to move, and the next part will show you how heaven confirms what it transfers. Chosen One. There is a reason your spirit has been trembling lately, a reason you feel waves of emotion that seem to rise from nowhere. The spiritual code your grandfather carried has reached its hour of activation. Heaven does not allow holy things to die. When a righteous man carries an assignment he cannot complete in his lifetime, heaven preserves it until the vessel capable of finishing it appears. You are that vessel. You are the continuation of an unspoken covenant. Anointed One, the veil between generations is thinning. The same presence that walked with your grandfather in silence is now walking with you in revelation. This is why your dreams feel layered and prophetic. This is why certain memories, or even scents, make your eyes fill with tears for reasons you cannot name. That is not nostalgia, that is spiritual resonance. The body remembers what the soul once knew. Chosen One. There were nights when your grandfather sat alone in the quiet, maybe in a small chair, maybe in a garden, maybe beneath a dim light. People saw stillness. Heaven saw transaction. He was not talking to himself. He was communing with the unseen. Those long silences were sacred exchanges between realms, rehearsals for what you would one day unlock. And now the mantle that rested on him is settling on you. Anointed One, I have walked through this myself. My own grandfather rarely spoke about faith, yet there was a peace around him that made no sense to my natural mind. After he passed, I dreamed of him standing in light. No words, only presence. Years later, during prayer, God whispered that he had carried something for me until I was ready. That same transfer is happening to you. Chosen One. This is why life around you has begun to shift. Situations that once felt blocked are opening effortlessly. People who drained your spirit are quietly falling away. New conversations are aligning with uncanny precision. This is not coincidence, it is divine choreography. Heaven is positioning you for a supernatural unveiling where everything hidden in your lineage begins to bear fruit through you. Anointed one, you will begin to notice signs, a phrase you never heard before echoing in your spirit, a song that carries your grandfather's peace, a number that repeats until you pay attention. Do not dismiss these threads. God is not speaking in riddles. He is speaking in layers. Each sign is a breadcrumb guiding you deeper into your calling. Chosen one. The moment your grandfather left this earth was not an ending, it was planting. Heaven kept a portion of his essence awake, waiting for the rightful heir. And now the soil recognizes you. The same spirit that hovered over creation is hovering over your lineage again, whispering, "Let there be light." You are walking on holy ground without realizing it. Anointed one, this is bigger than breaking generational patterns. You are unlocking generational callings. You are stepping into promises spoken in silence, dreams whispered into the atmosphere before you were born. This is the holy exchange heaven orchestrates. What was mystery in one generation becomes manifestation in the next. Chosen one, God will send confirmation soon. Someone will mention your grandfather unexpectedly. You may discover an old photograph, a handwritten note, or a forgotten object that carries his presence. When it happens, pause. Honor the moment. That is heaven saying, yes, this is real. Your spirit will respond instantly. Warmth, tears, a quiet peace. That is legacy moving through your body. Anointed one, what once felt like memory is becoming ministry. What your grandfather prayed for in secret, you will walk out in public. This is divine continuation. Heaven's version of inheritance. And now, the mystery that once circled your life quietly is beginning to speak. In the next part, I will show you how this inheritance begins shifting your environment and accelerating your destiny. Chosen one. What is unfolding around you now is not randomness, it is recognition. The atmosphere has begun to respond to who you are becoming, not who you used to be. People sense your shift even if they cannot name it. Some feel drawn to your peace, others feel unsettled by your presence. That is because the anointing maturing inside you is no longer silent. It is announcing itself in ways only the Spirit can interpret. Anointed one, this is what happens when heaven decides the time of concealment is over. Your grandfather's silence was divine protection. Your voice will be divine revelation. He was hidden so you could be revealed. And the more your spirit awakens, the more your environment must rearrange to match what God is doing in you. This is why old patterns no longer hold you. This is why familiar places feel too small. Heaven is enlarging your territory. Chosen one, doors that were once stuck will begin to move. Opportunities will arise suddenly, and you will know instantly which ones belong to you. That knowing is not logic. It is inheritance sharpening your discernment. Your grandfather carried quiet authority. You will carry visible authority. He guarded the fire. You will carry the flame. This is divine evolution. Anointed one, I remember when this began manifesting in my own life. I wasn't doing anything different, yet everything around me shifted. People treated me differently, some with honor, some with discomfort. At first, I thought it was coincidence. Then God showed me that elevation exposes what was previously hidden. When heaven lifts you, the room around you must respond. Chosen one, this is not only awakening, it is divine transfer. Heaven is not giving you what your grandfather had. Heaven is multiplying it. What was once prayer in his lifetime will become proof in yours. His hidden faith becomes your visible favor. What he endured privately becomes what you will overcome publicly. Anointed One, this is why you survived storms that should have broken you. You may not have felt strong, but heaven covered you because your calling could not afford collapse. Even in confusion, you were never cut off. Even in loss, you were never abandoned. Your survival is evidence of covenant. Chosen One, Scripture says there is a season for every purpose, and you are standing inside your appointed one. The delay has broken, the acceleration has begun. You may feel a tension in your spirit, excitement blended with holy fear. That is the signature of destiny unfolding. Your spirit recognizes what your mind has not yet processed. You are crossing from waiting into walking, from wondering into knowing, from hoping into holding. Anointed One, confirmation is coming. Someone connected to your grandfather, perhaps a relative, perhaps a stranger, will say something that unlocks a piece of your lineage. It may be a story you've never heard, a detail you were never told. When you hear it, something inside you will rise. That is how heaven marks truth. Not with noise, but with resonance. Chosen One, when this happens, do not dismiss it. Do not rationalize it. Receive it. Worship through it. Because the moment you acknowledge the confirmation, the transfer deepens. Blessings that once bypassed you will begin returning. Paths that were blocked will open. What your grandfather prayed but could not finish will begin unfolding through your hands. Anointed One, this is not about living in his shadow. It is about stepping into his promise. The story that paused at his final breath has resumed with your next. Everything you lost, every silence you endured, every unanswered question, all of it prepared you for this unveiling. In the next part, I will show you how this prophetic transfer transforms not only your spirit, but your relationships, your opportunities, and the very rhythm of your life. Chosen One. There are seasons when the promise feels near enough to breathe in, yet far enough to make your spirit ache. You can sense the shift, you can feel the nearness of what heaven is doing, and still there are moments when the waiting stretches your endurance in ways no one else can see. This is not because you are falling behind. It is because heaven is stretching the container of your spirit to hold what is coming. Anointed One, there are days when you wake with clarity and days when silence meets you at the door. You are not doing anything wrong. The path of those marked by God is rarely loud. It is shaped through repetition, through faithfulness, through the unseen choices you make when no one is applauding. Your grandfather walked this same hidden road. His strength was not in what he declared, it was in what he kept returning to when the world grew heavy. Chosen One, I know what it feels like to hold a promise that has weight, but not yet form. There were stretches in my own life where God felt near one moment and distant the next, not because he had withdrawn, but because my capacity was being built quietly. I learned that revelation ignites you, but endurance shapes you. And both are needed for a mantle of this magnitude. Anointed One, the reason you feel tired some days is because your spirit has been doing work your mind hasn't fully understood. You have been discerning, shedding, listening, holding, releasing, all at once. That kind of spiritual labor does not always show on the outside, yet heaven sees every step. Nothing in your waiting has been wasted. Chosen One, you are learning to walk in alignment, not intensity. Alignment is quieter than you expect. It shows up in the breath you take before reacting, in the restraint you show when you could respond, in the peace you choose when the situation invites chaos. These are the marks of someone who carries a mantle shaped by generations. Your grandfather learned this in silence. You are learning it in movement. Anointed One, there is something else heaven wants you to understand. The promise over your life is not sustained by constant signs. It is sustained by remembrance. Even believers who have walked with God for decades will open the scriptures not to study deeply, but to find a single word that steadies them in the exact moment they need it. Faith is not held together by fireworks. It is held together by return. Chosen one, you have been returning too, quietly, steadily, faithfully, some days with strength, some days with trembling, but you kept returning, and heaven took notice. Your endurance has become the altar where God continues to breathe on your promise. That is why the atmosphere around you is shifting. That is why the timing of your life is accelerating. You have shown you can hold the weight without losing your center. Anointed one, if your spirit has been searching for something simple to rest upon, something steady enough to revisit on weary days, a quiet reminder has been placed gently in the description and pinned comment, not as explanation, but as a soft place for your faith to breathe. Chosen one, you are closer than you think. What feels like stillness is preparation. What feels like delay is alignment. What feels like nothing happening is heaven arranging everything. The same God who planted the seed in your grandfather's lifetime is watering it in yours, and nothing, not time, not silence, not fatigue, can stop what has already begun. In the next part, the unveiling deepens.
Chosen one,
There is a shift happening beneath the surface of your life, a rearranging so precise that even the smallest detail is being aligned with purpose. You may not see it yet, but you can feel the edges of it pressing against your awareness. This is heaven preparing the ground for what must rise next through you. What feels unsettled is actually the clearing of old pathways so the new assignment can take root without obstruction. Anointed one, heaven is not asking you to understand the timing. Heaven is asking you to remain available to it. There is a difference. Understanding demands clarity. Availability requires surrender. And those chosen for generational mantles are shaped not through constant revelation, but through consistent yielding. Your grandfather learned this surrender through years of quiet faith. You are learning it through accelerated transformation. Chosen one, you have noticed certain patterns breaking off your life, cycles that once repeated without mercy, suddenly losing their grip. This is confirmation that the spiritual laws surrounding your lineage have shifted. What bound previous generations can no longer bind you. What silenced those before you cannot silence you. You are the first in your line to carry this level of visibility and authority, and heaven is making sure nothing familiar will sabotage what is new. Anointed one, this is why relationships are changing. This is why your discernment feels sharper, your boundaries clearer, your heart quieter. When heaven crowns a new season, the soul instinctively steps into a different posture. You have been feeling this without knowing why. It is because your spirit has already crossed into the next chapter, even while your environment is catching up. Chosen one, when a mantle awakens, it does not announce itself with noise. It announces itself with recognition. Objects connected to your grandfather may draw your attention. A phrase he used may echo in your spirit. You may dream of him standing in peace or radiance. These are not accidents. They are confirmations that the inheritance has become active. Anointed one, I remember when this same transition unfolded in my own life. People I hadn't spoken to in years suddenly resurfaced with stories about my lineage I had never heard. Old journals were discovered, forgotten prayers were remembered. Each moment felt small at first, but every moment carried weight. Heaven speaks through threads long before it speaks through thunder. Chosen one, this is why you must not dismiss the subtle signs. Heaven rarely begins loudly. Divine beginnings often sound like whispers brushing the edges of your awareness. The shift you feel now is not preparation for the promise, it is the beginning of the promise itself. You are already inside the unfolding, not waiting for it to start. Anointed One, there is an authority rising in you that is different from anything you've carried before. It's not the authority of striving, it's the authority of inheritance. You don't force it, you embody it. You don't chase influence. Influence recognizes you. You don't convince people of who you are. Heaven has already spoken, and the earth is responding. Chosen One. This is why certain people can no longer access you the same way. When destiny calls a person upward, not everyone can walk with them. Separation is not always loss. Sometimes it is proof that your elevation is real. Even your grandfather walked alone in seasons when the mantle grew too heavy to explain. You are experiencing the same refinement. Anointed One, the next confirmation will not come through effort. It will come through alignment. Something will click, a conversation, a memory, a moment of peace, and your entire spirit will recognize it. Destiny does not sneak in. It steps in when the soul becomes still enough to perceive it. Chosen One, you are no longer hoping for breakthrough. You are carrying breakthrough. You are no longer waiting for the mystery. You are becoming the mystery fulfilled. The vibration around your life is increasing because heaven is accelerating the timetable. In the next part, the transfer will move from spiritual awakening into visible manifestation. Chosen One. What is forming around you now is not merely spiritual, it is structural. Heaven is not only touching your spirit, heaven is touching the framework of your life. The unseen alignment you have felt in your chest is beginning to move outward, reshaping circumstances, redirecting connections, and preparing physical space for what has been maturing in the invisible realm. You are stepping into a season where what was once sensed will soon be seen. Anointed One, this is why your routines feel different. What once felt heavy now feels unnecessary. What once felt urgent now feels quiet. God is not stripping you, He is streamlining you. When a vessel is chosen for greater capacity, heaven removes what cannot travel into the next level. Your grandfather walked this same narrowing. His life was shaped by holy reduction, less noise, fewer distractions, deeper clarity. You are experiencing the evolved version of that same shaping. Chosen One. The acceleration you are entering is not chaotic, it is ordered. Heavenly acceleration does not rush you, it aligns you. It draws opportunities into your orbit that match your maturity. It disconnects you from environments that can no longer hold the weight of your assignment. This is why people fall away gently, why old desires lose their appeal, why conversations shift without warning. The season is changing, and your spirit has outgrown the previous room. Anointed One, I remember standing in this same spiritual crossroads, wondering why God was rearranging my life without giving me a map. Only later did I understand that heaven was removing what I would have clung to out of habit, not out of purpose. You are in that same refinement. Trust the dismantling. Heaven only removes what would restrict the mantle stretching over you. Chosen One, you may start noticing that solutions appear before you ask for them. Openings arrive before you knock. Conversations begin aligning before you articulate your need. This is not coincidence. This is inheritance responding to recognition. When heaven places a mantle on someone, the earth begins shifting to accommodate what is coming through them. Anointed One, the spiritual activity around your life has increased. You may feel a warmth rise suddenly in your chest, or a peace settle unexpectedly when your mind is still processing. These are not emotional waves, They are confirmations that the divine transfer is not only active, it is nearing completion. You are no longer at the edge of change. You are becoming the embodiment of change. Chosen one. Your grandfather carried this weight in silence, but you are carrying it in revelation. He held the mystery as potential. You are holding it as expression. What he whispered in prayer, you will speak with authority. What he protected in obscurity, you will walk out in visibility. Heaven is not repeating his story. Heaven is fulfilling it through you. Anointed one, this is why your confidence is shifting. Not arrogance, not self-assurance, holy certainty. You are beginning to sense that you were built for what once intimidated you. You are realizing that what felt too heavy in past seasons now feels like alignment. This is the signature of divine readiness. Chosen one, pay attention to the internal shifts. Your reactions are different. Your patience has deepened. Your intuition has sharpened. What once drained you now reveals itself immediately. This is discernment maturing. This is authority rising. This is heaven preparing to move from whisper to demonstration. Anointed one, the next phase will not ask you to strive. It will ask you to step. Every transfer from heaven requires one moment of agreement, and your spirit has already said yes. Now your surroundings are catching up. The divine current that once moved quietly within you is beginning to reorganize the world around you. Chosen one, you are approaching the point where spiritual inheritance becomes visible reality. What was internal will soon become undeniable. What was forming in silence will emerge in strength. The mantle your grandfather carried is no longer waiting, it is positioning. In the next part, the revelation will shift from inner alignment to outward elevation. Chosen one. You are entering a realm where elevation does not arrive through effort, but through recognition. Heaven is beginning to reveal what it has long prepared, and the world around you is starting to respond to the authority resting on your name. You may feel it already, a quiet rise within you, a sense that something is unfolding even before it reaches the surface. This is not imagination, this is divine positioning. Anointed one, the shift you are stepping into is not subtle. It will begin inside you, but it will not stay hidden. People will look at you and sense a change they cannot articulate. Some will feel drawn to your presence without understanding why. Others will feel exposed by the clarity you now carry. This is the nature of spiritual elevation. It reveals what was misaligned and strengthens what was ordained. Chosen one. Heaven does not elevate you to make you noticeable. Heaven elevates you because the assignment that once lived in silence is ready to be lived out loud. Your grandfather's prayers created the foundation. Your obedience creates the expression. What rested on his shoulders as quiet weight will rest on yours as visible authority. Anointed one, this is why favor is beginning to appear in unexpected places. Doors you once had to push open will now open by recognition. People who overlooked you will now remember your name. Opportunities that were once delayed will return with multiplied grace. When God decides a person is ready to be revealed, nothing, no resistance, no misunderstanding, no timing can hold back the unveiling. Chosen one, you may begin to see patterns of alignment unfolding daily, a conversation that feels divinely timed, a message that answers a question you didn't speak aloud, a moment of clarity that cuts through confusion like a blade of light. These are not random. These are confirmations that you are walking in the inheritance your grandfather protected. Anointed one, I have lived through this moment myself. There was a season when everything around me accelerated without warning. Blessings converged, relationships reformed, New opportunities rose like dawn. It felt unreal until God reminded me that this is what happens when destiny catches up with obedience. You are entering that same current. Chosen one. Elevation will not always look like increase. Sometimes it will look like release. The higher heaven calls you, the less you can carry. Not everyone can walk with you into this new season. Not every mindset can hold the weight of the mantle. Not every environment can sustain the level of clarity that is now awakening in your spirit. Letting go is not loss. It is evidence that the next chapter has already begun. Anointed one, your voice will start to change, not in sound, but in impact. When you speak, people will listen differently. They will feel something settle, something shift, something awaken. This is not charisma, this is inheritance speaking. Authority is not volume, it is alignment. And you are stepping into a level of alignment that your grandfather only glimpsed. Chosen one. Pay attention to the inner confirmation. Your emotions are stabilizing, your mind is sharpening, your discernment is maturing. You no longer crumble at the pressures that once overwhelmed you. This is not resilience, it is spiritual transformation. Heaven has been fortifying you for the moment when the mantle would become active, and that moment is now. Anointed one, your steps are about to carry weight. Not because you are striving, but because heaven has chosen to walk with you in visibility. You are no longer carrying a promise, you are carrying fulfillment. And the world is about to witness it. Chosen one. In the next part, the mantle will shift from elevation into full manifestation, where what was hidden becomes undeniable, and what was promised becomes lived reality. Chosen one. You are approaching the place where prophecy becomes experience, where the mantle that hovered over your lineage steps fully into the visible world. What was once whispered in your spirit is preparing to speak through your life with clarity and certainty. This is the moment when heaven moves from aligning you to establishing you. Nothing about this is abstract, nothing is symbolic. This is fulfillment touching the natural realm. Anointed one, you may feel a deep stillness rising in you right now. Not the stillness of waiting, but the stillness of recognition. It is the quiet realization that what once felt distant has arrived. Your spirit knows before your eyes see it. Your breath deepens, your chest feels lighter. This is what it looks like when the unseen becomes tangible. Heaven has already crossed the threshold. Now your life follows. Chosen one, there will be signs in the coming days, subtle yet unmistakable. Conversations will shift without effort. Opportunities will align without persuasion. People will honor you without knowing why. Even environments that once resisted you will soften, as if something invisible has gone before you to prepare the way. This is not coincidence. This is the mantle doing what mantles do, creating space for the one who carries it. Anointed one, your grandfather carried a portion of this assignment in silence, but you will carry it in clarity. What he held as potential, you hold as expression. Where he walked quietly, you will walk boldly. Not loud in volume, but loud in impact. Heaven has expanded the inheritance through you. Each generation receives the seed, but one generation becomes the harvest. You are that generation. Chosen one. Do not be surprised when you begin to see connections forming in patterns too precise to ignore. A message delivered at the perfect moment. A name mentioned that opens memory and revelation. A door that appears just as another closes. These are not random events. They are the architecture of divine purpose revealing itself in real time. Anointed one, you will feel the mantle most strongly in moments of calm. Not in the storm, not in the noise, but in the quiet spaces where your spirit hears what your mind hasn't yet interpreted. You will begin to sense direction without debate, timing without fear, and clarity without striving. This is not newfound wisdom. It is inherited discernment rising to the surface. Chosen one. Your life is no longer defined by what you lost, but by what is being restored. Heaven restores differently from the world. The world gives back what was taken. Heaven gives back multiplied versions of what was promised. What left your life created space. What is coming will fill it with purpose. Anointed one, there is a sacred confidence awakening in you, gentle, steady, rooted. You no longer question whether you are chosen, you feel it. You no longer wonder if the promise is real, you carry it. The mantle is settling on your shoulders, not as weight, but as identity. You were shaped for this, refined for this, positioned for this. Chosen one. This is the hour when heaven completes what it began in your grandfather's lifetime. The story that paused with his final breath is now breathing through yours. What he prayed for, you will walk in. What he could not finish, you will fulfill. You are not the continuation of a legacy, you are its manifestation. Anointed one, step gently into this awareness. The transfer is complete, the legacy is alive, and heaven is watching with joy as you rise into everything you were born to carry. Chosen one. As this word settles in your spirit, let the quiet truth rise within you. You are not standing at the edge of destiny anymore, you are standing inside it. The same God who guided your grandfather in secret is guiding you in sight, and the mantle that moved through generations now rests upon your shoulders with clarity and purpose. The transfer is not approaching, it has begun. You are walking in your Kairos moment, your divinely appointed time, and heaven is rejoicing over the unfolding that has already started in your life. Anointed one, may your steps be ordered, your discernment sharpened, and your peace multiplied. May every unseen promise ripen into visible reality. May your voice carry the authority of inheritance, and may your presence release the healing your grandfather once prayed you would carry. Walk gently, walk boldly, walk crowned. If this message has spoken to your spirit, share your agreement in the comments so the echo of your faith can rise. A practical spiritual reminder has also been placed quietly for you. After this, go to the description and the pinned comment. Chosen one, go forth with reverence. Your appointed time has come.